Alright guys, this is actually a video specifically for Scar. I just want to have a look at his base and then try and give him some advice to try and keep some of his resources, because losing to his 700 odd resources a day is not a great place to be. Okay, so Scar, first order of business is this nice big fat square that you've got over here. Now, as you would have seen in some of my other videos, having a square like this is just about the silliest thing you can do, and I don't mean to be disparaging or anything like that, but if I'm looking for bases to attack, this is the easiest base to attack. Okay, so what's going to happen here? You can see here you've got your two of your mortars and your one tower here in the top. You can see them in the middle of the screen outside of the wall. So it's got zero protection from the wall. Okay, you've then got these three cannons inside the wall, your second square, and you've got your other mortar sort of sitting over there with a couple of dispersed garrisons, etc. Now, these two redoubts that you've got over here against an army like mine are totally useless. You might as well just put them outside the wall and move on. Okay, your little town center here, as I've explained in my other videos, town center inside the wall, you're protecting nothing. There's no gold that comes from it, there's no resources that comes from it, so the other players really just ignore it, so you don't have to protect it. So what are you worried about? You're worried about this oil refinery sitting there. You're worried about these 1, 2 and 3 mills that you've got sitting over there, and you're worried about these gold that you've got over there. So as a starting point, stick them inside a very tight square that you've got there, and then segment that square. Then have a look at my base, right? I've got smaller segments or bigger segments than some of the other guys, but those segments actually work. All that's going to happen here, and it doesn't matter where you drop your troops if you're attacking this base, you can roll around this base very quickly, very easily, and that's how you're getting wiped out. Okay, so the big bottom line with your base is that it is not set up well. Okay, number one. Number two, when you do gather the resources, what's going to happen is the guys just look at you in that range of about 900 odd medals, and they will just basically attack you. So look here, if you look at my base, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different segments within my base. Each segment protected by some decent walls. You saw your walls weren't that great, so you might invest some money in your walls, but my walls, decent segment walls, and you can actually then work with those. Okay, we've put everything that needs protecting really heavily towards the middle, and then we've surrounded them by defenses. Okay, very decent layout, and from here I don't get attacked that much, and when I do get attacked, you know, it's generally the guy's got to spend a lot of resources to try and attack my base. Let me go look at another base there of somebody else that we can just look as a comparison. Okay, let's look at the levels, because you're level 127 if I wasn't mistaken. So you're 127. Let's look at Spartans and see what his base looks like. Okay, Spartan's base, immediately you can see it. Okay, I still don't like the town center in the middle, but immediately you can see it. He's got his base segmented into sections. Okay, all these sections, what they do is they slow the attackers down. Okay, it's as simple as that. So a nice little segment there. I don't know why he's got the town center in the middle. We said don't do it, but fair enough, that's everybody's call. Okay, make sure that you fix your base, looking at a base that looks similar to this. Let's look at MA's base. That was a nice decent layout on Spartan's base over there. We're going to have a quick look at MA's base, and then hopefully we can close off this video and you can get the idea as to what your base should look like. Because MA was also in the 127, MA's 130 range. Let's have a quick look at that. and oof, also same story. So town center in the middle of the base. I don't think this is the wall setup. I think this is just the normal setup that you've done over here. And again, that square within the square, guys, doesn't work. Okay, you really need to get rid of that square within the square setup. Alright, let's my next video I'm going to actually show you what a square within a square setup looks like and how you actually just roll through that thing.